everyone. Good evening. It's Miss Rachel. Welcome to Rainbow Reads. I'm so excited to share with you some fantastic books tonight that are LGBTQ plus positive and uplifting. I myself am a cis straight woman who grew up in a family with cis straight parents. So I am what's called an ally, and I welcome your feedback to let me know if I don't say quite the right things, or if my perspective is off or not supportive. So please let me know. I would like to share with you some fantastic books that I have found over the years, and I hope you enjoy them. The first one is called Not Your Typical Dragon. And this is the main character. He is a great little guy, and I think that you will find that it's okay not to be typical, not to be what people expect you to be sometimes. We all have a lot to learn from this dragon. This is written by Dan Bar-El and illustrated by Tim Bowers, and I'm going to read it to you with permission from the publisher, Viking. All right, make sure you can see the pictures. I have to move a little bit, I think. This part is always tricky for me. Move a little more. Okay, there we go. Crispin Blaze was born into a proud family of fire-breathing dragons. Every Blaze breathes fire, explained his father. I breathe fire. Your mother breathes fire. Tomorrow, when you turn 7, you will breathe fire. The little dragon imagined all the forests he would burn down. He dreamed of all the castles he would destroy. He also considered boiling water to make tea, but he didn't tell his father that. The next day, Crispin sat among family and friends as a big cake was brought to the table. Who will light the birthday candles? His mother asked. I will, declared Crispin. He could feel a tingling inside his tummy, but when he opened his mouth, fire did not come out. Whipped cream came out! Crispin, shouted his father, dragons breathe fire. What will the neighbors think? Worried his mother. I love whipped cream, said his little sister Ashley. The little dragon was whisked off to the doctor the very next day. Please fix my son, demanded Crispin's father. What seems to be the problem? Asked the doctor. Crispin opened his mouth and breathed, but fire did not come out. Band-Aids came out. I see, said the doctor gravely. Dragons should breathe fire, insisted Crispin's father. We were low on Band-Aids, mumbled the nurse. The doctor sent Crispin home with medicine. He swallowed 2 teaspoons before going to school. It will help you become a real dragon, said his father with a wink. After school, Crispin joined his first fire-breathing practice. One by one, little dragons aimed their fiery breath at stacks of logs until they burst into flames. Crispin stepped up confidently. He could feel the medicine bubbling in his belly, but when he opened his mouth, fire did not come out. Marshmallows came out. Dragons breathe fire, yelled the coach. Isn't that right, class? The other dragons didn't answer. They were too busy looking for pointy sticks for marshmallow roasting. I guess I'm not a real dragon, Crispin thought. He worried that his family would be disappointed, so he ran away from home. The world can be a scary place for a dragon who can't breathe fire. Crispin found a dark cave. I'll be a fireless dragon all by myself. I won't bother anyone, and no one will bother me. An hour later, he had a visitor. "I am Sir George," squeaked a thin, shiny knight. Show yourself, dragon." Crispin shuffled out of the cave. The thin, shiny knight held up his thin, shiny sword. "Do your worst, dragon." Crispin opened his mouth. But you know, right? Fire did not come out. Soap bubbles came out. "Don't you breathe fire, dragon?" Crispin shook his head. "I can't," Sir George moaned. "Oh, but my father insists that I fight a fire-breathing dragon. It even says here in my book that your typical dragon breathes fire." "I'm not your typical dragon," Crispin explained. Sir George sighed. "I can't go home." "Me neither," Crispin nodded. But then he had an idea. "Maybe your book could tell us what to do." "Of course!" Sir George searched through the pages. "It says it's probably just your diet." Sir George fed Crispin spicy curry, scorching chili, and blistering salsa. Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Red party streamers came out. "At least they're the right color," said Sir George kindly. Sir George searched through the book again. "Aha! It says it's probably your attitude." Sir George showed Crispin how to look mean and angry enough to breathe fire. Crispin opened his mouth. But you already know, fire did not come out. Soft, cuddly teddy bears came out. Said Sir George. "We may have taken a step backward." "It's no use," Crispin sighed. "I'm just not your typical dragon." But Sir George was not ready to give up. "Aha! The book says you're too stressed." Sir George made Crispin close his eyes while he described a quiet, relaxing day at the ocean. "Do you feel calm? Now imagine 100 shiny knights attacking you." Crispin opened his mouth, but fire did not come out. Beach balls came out. Well, that's just plain weird. Secretly, Sir George was glad that Crispin couldn't breathe fire. He liked the little dragon and didn't want to fight him. Crispin liked the shiny knight too, but he missed his parents. "Sir George, it's getting dark. I want to go home." The shiny knight patted him on the back. "Don't worry, little dragon. I will take you." Crispin's parents were relieved when he arrived home safely. Sir George was about to say goodbye when they heard a shout. "There you are, boy! Why on earth are you playing with a fire-breathing dragon?" He's my friend, Father," whispered Sir George. "And besides, he doesn't breathe fire." "A dragon that doesn't breathe fire? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard." "Ha ha ha!" The shiny man laughed. Crispin's father stormed out of the house. "My son is not silly. He may not breathe fire, but I certainly do." Crispin's father let out a powerful spray of flames. "Do your worst," declared the shiny man, but then the flames scorched the lawn. "That's enough, honey," said Crispin's mother. "The flames singed the fence." "You've made your point, dear. Now stop showing off," she scolded. Then the flames ignited the roof. Crispin's father panicked. "I can't stop breathing fire." "You'll burn our house down," cried his mother. "You'll burn down the whole neighborhood." Dragons came running from all directions. They knew how to start fires, but no one knew how to stop them. Crispin suddenly felt a tingling in his tummy. He felt a bubbling in his belly. He opened his mouth. But guess what? Fire did not come out. A gush of water shot out. Crispin aimed the water at his father's flames. He saved his home, and he even saved the shiny man, who wasn't looking so shiny anymore. Hooray for Crispin! Everyone shouted. On Crispin's next birthday, there was a big party. Family and friends came from all over the land. Sir George and his family came too. Lots of dragons were dancing. Crispin stood with his mouth open wide. Fire still did not come. Music came out instead. Your son, said an old uncle to Crispin's father. He's not your typical dragon, is he? No, replied Crispin's father proudly. My son is something special. And then he jumped up and danced to Crispin's music too. Crispin was a better dragon when he was finally allowed to just be the dragon he always was. And people told him that dragons are supposed to breathe fire. But Crispin was not just like all the other dragons. And sometimes that's true for people too. People are not the same as you. And so you think maybe something's wrong and they need to go to the doctor and get fixed. But that's not the problem at all. We need to let people be who they are. And we can find out what wonderful things they can do. Like save neighborhoods from fire, like Crispin did. The next one I'm going to read to you is about a little boy who is also not typical. Look at the cover. I'm trying to make it so there's no glare for you. See this right here? This is called a bindi. Bindis are typically worn only by girls and women. But this book is called The Boy and the Bindi. Let's read together. This is written by Vivek Shreya and illustrated by Rajni Pereira. The Boy and the Bindi. Have you seen my Ami's dot? It's a bright and pretty spot. Her dot comes in every hue. She likes red and sometimes blue. She peels and pastes it like a sticker, gently with her thumb and finger. Above her nose is where it goes. What is this dot? I want to know. Ami, why do you wear that dot? What's so special about that spot? It's not a dot, says my Ami. It's not a spot. It's a bindi. What's a bindi? What does it do? My bindi keeps me safe and true. How does it do that, Ami? How? Well, when I stick it on my brow, my bindi tells me where I'm from. My bindi reminds me of my mom and when she gave me my first one. Hi, Cass. Thanks for letting us know you're enjoying the books. I look at her bindi with this view. I, too, would like to be safe and true. Ami, can I have a bindi to wear? Do you have one more to spare? She smiles and reaches in her drawer. Ta-da! She says, this one is yours. She sticks it on my bare forehead. But in the mirror, I don't see red. What a surprise to discover yellow is my bindi's color. As soon as it's on, I feel so calm, like all the noise around is gone. But when I'm outside, people stare. Maybe they want a bindi to wear. My friends at school all want to know, what is that dot above your nose? I do not have the words to say, but if I close my eyes and wait, my bindi turns into a star, and then my forehead turns into the sky. That's when all my fears fade out of sight, and my body feels so light. Ami was so very right. So now I leave it on my face. My bindi will always have its place. When I bathe or go to bed, my bindi stays on my forehead. Not just because of the glue or because it keeps me true, but sometimes I've felt small like a dot and sometimes ugly like a blot. But if a bindi can be more than a spot and bring beauty where there was not, maybe I can too. Have you seen my yellow dot? It's a bindi, not a spot. Why do you wear a bindi, you say? Why is it so special anyway? Well, my bindi is like a third eye, watching over me all the time, making sure I don't hide everything I am inside and everything that I can be. Thank you, Ami, for my bindi. That book I love. The beautiful illustrations, the rhyming is a little awkward. I think it would have been a better book if it wasn't a forced rhyme, but the message is beautiful, the illustrations are beautiful, and what a beautiful parent who let her son wear a bindi, even if most boys don't wear bindis. I would encourage parents to let their children choose how they dress or accessorize themselves. It can be a great way for them to feel that they are loved and validated and accepted, even if it's not what might be typical. The last book I'm going to read to you is called Jerome by Heart. It's by Thomas Skotto, and the illustrations are by Olivier Talek, and this is a beautiful book about a beautiful relationship between two young people. It was originally written in French, and it was translated from the French by Claudia Zoe Bedrick and Karen Snelson. And this is a book published by Enchanted Lion Books. I have never read a book published by Enchanted Lion Books that wasn't absolutely beautiful. And this one doesn't disappoint. He always holds my hand. It's true. Really tight. On field trips to the art museum, it's me he chooses as his buddy. That's why I love Jerome. It doesn't bother me at all. Raphael loves Jerome. I can say it. It's easy. My mom thinks Jerome is very polite. So charming. But she never says anything about how warm his smile is. She doesn't seem to notice that I have a secret hideout there where I feel protected by Jerome's two eyes. My dad thinks it's a pity that Jerome doesn't play soccer. But just because Jerome doesn't play rough doesn't mean he's not strong. He is strong. Raphael. Jerome always sees me, even when he's with his friends. Want some? He always shares his snacks with me. Hey, stop that! He defends me when kids make fun of me. Incredible, right? He also makes up stories that are so good. They seem real. So, I've made up my mind. From now on, every day is for Jerome. Mornings are happy from the start. By lunch, we've laughed so hard our stomachs hurt. And by dinner, I've stocked up on enough of Jerome to last me the whole night. That's important. This morning at breakfast, I burst out, I had the best dream last night. It was good in a Jerome kind of way. Dad stares at his shoelaces, like he doesn't hear a word I'm saying. Mom digs through my backpack and sighs, Eat your cereal, Raphael. Maybe I'll just eat my dream on toast. I'm joking, of course. That way, all you'll hear is crunching and it won't bother your ears so much. Now, that's enough. Dad's voice is like sharp fish bones in my hot chocolate. Grown-ups must not be able to think straight in the morning, because if I can't talk about Jerome anymore, it's not like Jerome is a bad word. I swallow my smile and go to my room to calm down. I have to find a present for Jerome, something strong as a fortress that will last forever. I ransack my room. I dump out my drawers. I have to find the perfect thing. I ransack my room because Jerome says he'll go on vacation with me. Maybe even to the highest peak of the Himalayas. Anytime. If I said we should build a race car, he would jump right in. And if he fell down and broke his arm and cried in front of the whole world, he still wouldn't hide his eyes in his shoelaces. I circle around my bed, around and around my table, around and around my questions. I forget my mom and dad. I think only about Jerome, who I know by heart. And I say yes. Raphael loves Jerome. I can say it. It's easy. I'm glad you liked that one too, Cass. Thanks for letting me know. And I like that this book is about, it's two young boys. So it can't necessarily be romantic, but it speaks to male friendships that are okay to be intimate. Whether it's romantic or just a friendship, it really goes against the toxic masculinity that is so prevalent in our culture and in subtle ways is prevalent in children's literature. There are not a lot of books where boys are characterized, certainly not their relationships are characterized in the way that Jerome and Raphael are. So I hope that you enjoyed these books, and I hope that maybe they were new to you and that it will encourage you to seek out and find books that validate different ways of being, LGBTQIA plus and otherwise. And I hope that you will join me again next month, because there are so many books that I have to share with you for this new Rainbow Reads program. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and please let me know if you have book suggestions, or like I said at the beginning of the program, let me know how I can be a good ally. Thanks all. Have a great night.